collectors, and welcome to Long's Toys. Today we are taking a look at the DX Arc Eye Sword from Ultraman Arc. You can see Ultraman Arc wielding it over here on the left side of the packaging. Kind of a neat looking sword, has these like sunglasses here in the center. Kind of reminds me of the Sunglass Slasher from Ghost. But it does have a full colored blade, so you have the whole spectrum of LED colors there, which is kind of the thing that this toy is most excited about, and I'll be honest, it's probably the most exciting part of the toy. But you do have a little port here where you can load in your Arc cubes, so that's kind of cool. If we take a look at the top of the box here, we can see Arc with his two main forms, and then you can see the different colors of the blade, so we have the full spectrum there. Like I said, it's going to be very colorful, very neat. Over here on this side, you can see him, he kind of holds his hand to his face, and then the sword kind of appears in front of his face. It's kind of how he summons it, which is kind of neat. Over here on this side of the box, just showing you how you can load cubes in. Over here on the back, just very rudimentary directions on how to use it. Of course, we're going to press the trigger to get some sounds. We're going to load cubes in, and then we have our two armor transformation cubes as well. Once again, showcasing down here all the different colors that the blade can be. Big QR code here for the manual if you should need it. Down here, just your usual warnings and whatnot. It does require 3 AAA batteries, so batteries are not included, so you will have to supply them on your own. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the packaging here. I'm going to go ahead and get it out of the box, and we'll take a closer look. Here is the DX Arc Eye Sword out of the packaging. It's a pretty decent size as far as, you know, Toku roleplay items go. The one thing that I did think was kind of neat, this is translucent. So if you hold this up to your face, you can see through it, just like on the show. It's a stupid little thing, but I thought it was a fun touch. They even kind of bevel this here for the bridge of your nose, so if you hold it against your face, it doesn't hurt, which I thought was a nice touch. Here is the battery compartment. You would just unscrew this and insert your 3 AAA batteries, and then close that back up. Here is the on and off switch. Here is the little thing that you depress to pop out the cubes after you put them in, so that's how you get them out of there. Have a little bit of gold paint here, so you can kind of see through the eyes of Ultraman. Some nice kind of holofoily stickers there with some nice silver and red paint. And then you have the translucent plastic here for the blade. A little bit over here as well. But I mean, it's a pretty good size. I feel like my hand can hold it. It feels comfortable. Even my large adult size hand can hold it comfortably, so I appreciate that. But yeah, it's a cool looking sword. I mean, you know, I feel like these could always be longer, but I honestly feel like this one, considering how big this apparatus needs to be, you know, in total, it's a decently long sword. Blade's a little short, but it's because this section here has to be so big. But yeah, we'll go ahead, we will pop this on. Doesn't say its name or anything like that, but you get some fun colors traveling the length of the blade. If we hit the trigger button, so it alternates between those two kind of sword clashing sounds. I do like how the light kind of travels the length of the blade. I think that looks kind of neat. You can also hold the trigger down. So hold the trigger down, it'll start kind of doing that pulsating sound, and you'll get a nice multicolored array of lights there, and then you hit the trigger again, and it gives you kind of like a stronger attack. That's pretty much it for this on its own. That's really all it does. You have those 3 attack sounds on its own, and yeah, so let's go ahead. Let's bring in some cubes, see what other sounds we can get. So as of right now, I only have 2 cubes. I have a couple more kind of in the backlog to be reviewed. I think I have the Solaris Armor Cube, or Solaris Arc Cube, whatever that's actually called. And then I have the first Candy Toy set. So when I do review those, of course, I'll bring the sword back so we can check out all the different colors. Because like I said, it's kind of the most exciting part of this toy. So we'll start off here with, this is the Ultraman Arc Cube that came with the Arc Ariser. There we go, wake up. So basically you just hit the button once and then you slide it in. So both the cube and the sword do kind of like a standby sound, as you heard there. Once you pop it in, they'll continue to do that until you hit the trigger, and then you can see you kind of got that cool blue light kind of surfing the length of the blade there, and you get that kind of generic attack sound. If you hold this down, nothing different. So there's no charged up attack sound from holding it down. That's only when you don't have a cube inserted. If you hit the trigger, hold the trigger down, it's going to do the same. Whatever the cube sound is, that's what it's going to do. So unfortunately, only one sound per cube. I assume it's because they have a lot of different ones they're doing, and they needed to fit a lot in here, so I can understand that. Then you come around to the back, hit this. That will eject the cube for you. But it is kind of cool. I mean, this does have a reader in here, so I appreciate that. You know, it can tell what's going on with these. So I can understand that they had to load a lot of sounds in here, so one per cube. But the only other one I have is the EX cube that I got with the magazine. So we'll go ahead. Now, obviously, I can hit the button all I want on this one, but there's no electronics in it, so that's not going to make a difference. So we'll just load it in. So you'll notice that there's only the standby sound from the blade. There's obviously nothing coming from the cube. So you do get a little phrase at the end. I mean, and apparently a screech. Most of the sounds. Oh, you know what? I think that was this cube turning itself off. It does that. So it's kind of neat because the sword goes doo-doo-doo-doo, and then the cube goes deet-deet-deet when it's doing the standby. But it knows that this one doesn't have its own electronics, so the sword actually made the deet-deet-deet that the cube would usually make. It picked up the slack. Well, I thought that was fun. The lights and attack sound were pretty similar because, again, they're both versions of Arc. But it did that little phrase at the end, which I thought was kind of neat. This is already starting to... This is like definitely a softer plastic, and I'm worrying that it's already starting to warp. But in any case, I thought that was neat. I thought that was kind of cool that any ones... Like, I'm assuming the Candy Toy ones have no electronics either, and I think that's a fair assumption. It'll be interesting to see that the sword will kind of have to pick up the slack and do all the sound effects, but it figures that out by reading the cube, so it knows that. So that's kind of neat. So, yeah, that's, like I said, pretty much it. I only have the 2 cubes for now. But I think it's kind of neat. I think, like I said, the sword doesn't do much on its own. But the fun is going to be every time you get a new cube, you pop the sword out and, you know, it lights the blade up different colors. And you'll get maybe a different phrase or a different attack sound depending on the cube. So, could be fun. I think it could be fun going forward. We'll have the Arcorizer and this eye sword to, you know, check when we get new cubes. And that'll be kind of neat, so we'll see how it goes. So unfortunately, that's kind of it for right now, but this is definitely one we're going to be going back to frequently throughout the course of the Arc toy line. And those are kind of the Toku toys that I enjoy the most. When you have, you know, a toy, whether it's a henshin device or a weapon, that has a reader for the gimmick item. Every time you get a new gimmick item, you want to get it back out, see what it does, makes new sounds, things like that. When you just have like a weapon that, you know, has a port to pop in the gimmick item, but it makes the same sound no matter what you pop in, I tend to get bored of those pretty frequently and don't really play with them that much. These are the kind of ones that I enjoy because it keeps me going back to it over the course of the year. And so I think there's a lot of potential for this to be a lot of fun. I mean, is it something you need to pick up right now? You could probably wait for a sale. Usually with Ultraman stuff, if you wait till the end of the year, everything will be on sale at the end. That's very possible. They kind of tend to dump it all. Or they tend to do a memorial edition. And I know they're already doing one for the Arcorizer because the buttons are already molded in. And they don't do anything yet, so those are definitely for the memorial edition. Will this get a memorial edition? I don't know. You'll have to wait and see. But I think it's fun. I mean, the LED is really nice. You have the full spectrum of colors there. I think that's going to be neat, popping in the new cubes and having it change different colors. I think that's going to be kind of cool. And we should get at least one new sound per cube, so that's also kind of cool. So I think this one's worth picking up. I definitely think it's worth picking up now, especially if you plan to collect all the cubes throughout the course of the year. I think this is one you're definitely going to want to pick up and try out as each new cube comes out. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Please like, share, and subscribe. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, thanks so much for watching.